I'm taking the first 4 minutes and I want to fáilte raibh na gúteoirí sa hústaire agus mo bhuíchas de Holly Cairns an teach the Holly Cairns as up on ruin seo a choros cór na dála. I just want to thank and welcome the people in the gallery and to say your work on the ground is recognised and it's not wasted. There are more and more voices on your side in the Dáil. I know it's slow, but you are making progress. And this motion is quite a basic motion. I understand the government are accepting it, and there's no motion against it. It notes our legal obligations. It acknowledges what has been done so far in terms of the reports, the capacity review and the cost of disability in Ireland. And it asks for specific things, and they're very, very basic. 4, introduce a cost of disability payment, which I come back to at least €20 per week. Increase the disability allowance. Publish an action plan. Can you imagine something as basic as requiring the government to publish an action plan pursuant to the disability capacity review, publish an action plan to implement the cost of disability, and honour the programme for government to make the results of the cost of disability report part of government policy. Now, I think we have made great strides theoretically, and if I use Galway as an example, we passed a Barcelona Declaration 20 years ago so that we would stop the division and the discrimination, and we adapted good design enables, bad design disables, and we passed the Barcelona Declaration. Theoretically, a brilliant step forward. In actual fact, it wasn't implemented in its full. But when COVID came, it was simply thrown aside. When we put a huge emphasis on businesses outdoors, and the Barcelona Declaration went by the board. The same thing with what we've ratified, signed and ratified, a huge space of time in between the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Of course, we haven't signed or ratified the protocol. And of course, the language there is wonderful. But we're still going on the basis of piecemeal and charity, as opposed to making that language an actual reality. And so if we take the practical example of the Barcelona Declaration, if we really had embraced that, then that would have been uppermost when the government encouraged businesses to move out into public space. And that's just a practical example. Now, the Indicon report it was published very recently in December, but there's a whole background as has been set out. And I know that Deputy Murphy has mentioned a report from '96. The one I had was 2004, and it was Indicon again for the National Disability Authority, and they were given the estimated cost of 143. In 2015, we had the Cullinan and Lyons on using the data from the survey Income and Living, and they found the average additional weekly cost of 207. And then we have the Indicon report. And I'm going to run out of time, but what they do say is that there is no single cost of disability due to a wide range in the severity of disability and so on. But the figures are astronomical, going up to 16,000 for those with severe limitation due to their disability. And they go on to say income supports will not be sufficient. There is a need for a multifaceted approach. And I fully agree with that, Minister. And I'm worried that in the lovely speech given here today, there is no commitment to actually an action plan production, publication, and making this a reality. I do welcome, as I got out of the chair, that the Minister, I think, and you might just clarify this, that she intends to carry out an audit of respite services, and that is positive news, because I have 5 seconds left, and respite went just to the wind during COVID. Not even a waiting list was kept. Garmach.